Orchard Point. Orchard Point used to be Orchard Market. It was a popular market in the 1960s selling fresh produce to residents. Today, it is located beside the Orchard Road district. It was built in 1891 and was torn down and replaced by Orchard Point in 1982. Orchard Market used to stand on part of William Cabbage Estate in 1837. The original structure on the site was called Coix Market. After its completion in 1880, it was leased to the municipal authorities and became known as Orchard Road Municipal Market. When the municipality bought the land in 1890, it tore down the building and built a new one in its place in 1891. The new market consisted of only one wing, but extensive renovations caused the building to be almost totally transformed. In 1910, an additional wing and a concrete frontage were added. As the area was prone to flooding, the structure was raised a few years later to eliminate flooding of the market. In 1930, a new building was built in front of the existing one. In spite of all these renovations and additions, the Orchard Road Market still retained the original cast iron structure into the 1970s, when it was demolished to be Orchard Point. Cabbage Terrace. Cabbage Terrace was an area of which there were many Peranakan-style shophouses dating from the 1920s. After the mass building of houses, Cabbage Terrace became a retail area. It was named after the man who financially helped in the building of the Cabbage Terrace back in the 192 in Peranakan style. The most recent renovation of Cabbage Terrace over the years is the one that ended in 2008, improving the state of the bars, restaurants, and relaxation areas there, but still keeping the Peranakan 1920s feel. There are still some places where the older terraces of Cabbage Terrace back then still remain. Centre Point. Centre Point was made up of a bridge that trains from Malaysia crossed to Singapore and an old cold storage building in the past. The bridge was built in 1900. It is said by the Chinese that it is bad luck for a train to cross over your head. Thus, people came to a standstill whenever a train passed. As for the cold storage, it went through renovation and was later extended to be Centre Point Shopping Centre, and then as the Centre Point. Centre Point is run by Fraser's Centre Point Limited. In 2005, it went through major renovation which included a 6-story extension and 2 basements, and is completed in December 2006. Takashimaya. In the 1950s, the land that Ngee City sits on was a barrow ground that was owned and managed by Ngee Ann Kongsi. It was then demolished to make way for a 10-story Ngee Ann building, which was later also demolished to make way for Ngee Ann City. Ngee Ann City was planned in the late 1980s. Raymond Wu, the architect, drew inspiration from the Great Wall of China. The intent was to reflect the dignity, solidity, and strength of the Ngee Ann Kongsi. In the late 1980s, Ngee Ann City was conceptualized as the focal point on Orchard Road shopping belt. At present, it is an extremely popular place of interest among tourists, and it offers 7 levels of shopping. It also hosts Takashimaya. Goodwood Park Hotel. Goodwood Park Hotel started off as a Teutonia club for the Germans in 1900, after which it was taken over by the Manasseh brothers and changed into Goodwood Hall in 1918. In 1929, Goodwood Hall turned to Goodwood Park Hotel and served mainly the Malaya businessmen. During World War II, it was converted to a residence of the Japanese high-ranking officials. It served as a crimes court during the post-war period. It was then returned to Mr. Vivian, a Manasseh descendant. He gave it a renovation and made it local history for being the first ever hotel in Singapore with a swimming pool. In the 1960s, there was rapid expansion of the Goodwood Park Hotel, and their names were everywhere, on taxis and even more. In 1963, it was bought over by a Malaysian banking group only to last 5 years till it changed into the hands of the late Tan Sri Koo Teck Puat, a former managing director of the bank, who managed Goodwood Park Hotel extremely well that it played host to many well-known dignitaries and personalities from all over the world. In 1989, Goodwood Park Hotel's tower was gazetted a national monument by the Singapore Preservation of Monuments Board. Goodwood Park Hotel underwent massive renovation and expansions when Mrs. Mavis Oi, the hotel's current chairman and daughter of Tan Sri Kutek took over. In the hands of her, Goodwood Park Hotel has been improved and upgraded continuously to put it among the world's best. 22 Scots Road is near Claymont district where many prominent European residents lived, and since this place was built for the Germans, it had to be near here as they would want to be where their community lives, at the same time have their own home. Therefore, Goodwood Park Hotel, which was a Teutonic club for the Germans, was built at 22 Scots Road.